So you have a great idea and you want everyone to believe in it. So when we are actually presenting our work, we want to make sure that we lead with like the best foot possible, and we want to make sure that we can communicate our idea to others. So, for instance, if you come and you're saying, "Oh, this is my project. It's not really good, and I'm really sorry about all these little problems that I found." I don't know that. Why are you bringing it up? So, it's best to always be as confident as you can. And just if you're not even like confident about the type of product that you've created, just stick with the facts. You can say something where if it was about like a red background and like there's like a little, I don't know, like a squirrel with some type on it, okay? So, say for instance, you can talk about how you found your typeface, why you thought it would be a good typeface to use. And you say, "Oh, I use old timey font, X, Y, and Z, whatever it's called, because I thought it would give atmosphere to this poster." Or you can even say something to the point of, if you maybe you're not so happy with how the squirrel came out and you've drawn it, something like that. You can bring attention to everything, and then you say, finally, I really thought that a squirrel would kind of help this overall format. And then you can just move on to the next thing. But I was really simply trying to capture the essence of this company that sells tiny t-shirts to squirrels or something like that. So you really want to be able to present and make sure that everything's the best foot forward. Don't get caught up in the "I think I could have done better," or um, the tiny details. And definitely don't say like you didn't have enough time to complete the project. If it's incomplete, or if it's incomplete, we can tell. And if there's certain things that are bothering you, you could probably think that maybe the viewer can also notice, right? But if it's something as simple as maybe you don't feel confident about your work, don't even worry about it. Just go ahead and put it out there. That's what these critiques are for, is to improve each um, person's level. So say for instance, maybe you say, "Oh, you know what, um, you don't feel confident about the typeface or how you drew the squirrel." Then you can tell that maybe the person who's critiquing you is looking out for you. So they'll say something like, "What you might have wanted to do is find some reference pictures for the squirrel and traced over it, so you can get more of a robust feeling of a squirrel, instead of that stick figure that you have drawn." You know what I mean? Because maybe it was a stick figure. I'm not quite sure. Or maybe it was a really good stick figure. So you can say, "Oh, I really appreciate how you were able to kind of simplify the squirrel drawing, but I think it would have been best if you would have," and this is kind of getting into how to critique, but there's going to be a separate video on that. But you can kind of tell that you really want to present with the most passion, present your idea as clearly as possible, and then let people know why you've maybe picked certain things. A really difficult thing, I think, as an artist is to communicate why you did things. And some people might ask, "Why did you choose a red background?" And then you may not know yourself. You might have thought it was like really pretty or something. But you need to be able to create a language where you can say, "Well, I thought that red was a really powerful color. So that's why I decided to put in a red background. I wanted to show power and energy when it comes to this clothing brand for squirrels." So there's something like that. You want to be able to think on the fly and promote your idea rather than detract from it, instead of saying, "I don't know. I don't know why I did that. I'm not quite sure." No, you want to make sure that you can say, "Yes, this was my idea." And then if you're not proud of some parts of it, you can either glaze over those, or you can really bring focus and attention to things that you are proud of. And even if you can't find anything that you're proud about with your design, it happens to every one of us, you can always say something to the point of just keeping up with the facts. You can just say, "I used this font because I thought that It would be more old-timey and add value to the brand. Like something that you can just like factual, like this is the font, this is the red color, and this is the tiny squirrel picture. But again, you want to make sure that you focus on the positive. Don't beat yourself up before speaking. You want to make sure that you are always showing off your best attributes when you're presenting and not detracting from it, where you're like, oh, well, I don't think I'm very proud of this. At that point, you're kind of making the viewer seem, kind of negative. They're like, oh no, like we want to save you from yourself. But what you want to do is just be proud of what you did, or at least project if that you're proud. And then, at home later you can kind of go, oh my gosh, like, oh, I didn't like that at all. um but at least if you're going through a good critique session, those people will help you and raise you up. Okay. But yeah, that's what you should do in your presentation. Speak positively. And then in this class, I might throw some questions at you, like, what have you felt like you did well? And then I might ask maybe why you did certain things, kind of like, why did you paint the background red? And I'm looking for a good answer for it. I don't want to hear just cuz. Well, it popped up on the color wheel. There should be a reason why. And of course, in learning the language art, you'll be able to find those reasons why. So, the red is a color of passion. So you can kind of equate those two together, even if they may not be true. Okay. So I just want to make sure that you guys understand how to present your ideas in this course. When we put up your image and say, all right, can you tell us a little bit about what you've done? You can at least speak positively of yourself and your image, or whatever we're working on at that moment, and say, okay, I've put it out there. You can wipe your hands clean of it and then gather all the good feedback that's going to be left for you. Okay? All right.